Yeah, I'm not. Okay.
Wait a minute, good to see you guys.
See you, Coach. Let Coach start off and we'll take some questions.
No, we had a bye week. I think we needed it for health and just getting rested up. Now we got a fun 5-week stretch to see what we can accomplish as a team. Starting with a road game at Waco and ready to get back to work with you guys.
Could you just kind of expand on what you were able to do with the bye week? Did you give some players some time off, I take it? Did you get an early start on Baylor? Just kind of how did your week lay out?
We had 3 practices last week, shorter, really focusing on identifying some just technique and fundamental things that we thought we could improve on, and we spent 2 days on that and kind of 1 bonus day for Baylor.
Scott, you mentioned the stretch coming up. You got the next 5 games, 3 teams that are currently ranked in the top 25. How important is kind of finishing strong now that you've wrapped up all your open weeks? How important is that to finish strong and against some opponent like Baylor, for instance?
It's important. We're just going to focus on this game right now. I'd love to see these guys finish this season in a way where everybody's happy and they feel like they've accomplished a lot. But this team's made a lot of strides, and the tough thing is we were close to winning another 1 or 2 and making this a completely different year. But now we got a chance down the stretch to see if we can win some of those close games.
Yeah, speaking bigger picture of the season now, kind of building on finishing strong. Now at the season, midpoint of the season, 4-3. Would you say your sights are now potentially hitting a bowl game?
Yeah, right now our focus is on Baylor and seeing how well we can play this week there. Big picture things, when we come up for air, we'll look at those.
As you look back on the West Virginia game, what did you like most that you hope carries over into this week?
We still didn't play a great game. We played well enough to win that one. We created more big plays, and I was talking about that before the game. So that needs to keep happening on both sides of the ball. I thought those kind of plays happened. Our consistency still needs to get better, and just overall execution. It's gotten better over the course of the year. But in order to sustain drives on offense and not give up big plays on defense, you got to be consistent the whole game, and we still need to be better.
Coach, you guys have had 2 losses this season on the defensive line so far, but just the week before the bye week, the Big 12 ended up giving you guys their defensive lineman of the week before. Can you just talk about how that unit's been able to have that next man up mentality given these injury situations there?
Yeah, talking big picture, we've got some guys hurt, and I'm mostly just sad for them. We've had some other guys step up and do some pretty good things, and we had to pretty much completely rebuild this roster. And one of the things I think we did pretty well at was giving ourselves some depth, and that depth has paid off at a few different positions. D-line being one of them. It's tough, the losses that we have of good players and guys that were contributing a lot, but we have enough depth that other guys are able to step in. So I think the recruiting department and other guys did a good job making sure the cupboard wasn't empty when we lost 1 or 2.
You mentioned that this is a good bye week came at a good time for you guys. So how's the progress for guys like Paul, Marcus, Stacy, some of the guys that didn't finish it, or Paul's case didn't start in the West Virginia game?
Stacy had surgery, so we're going to be out without him for a while. I don't know completely the timetable on that yet. The rest of the guys I think are going to be up and ready to go. The bye week came at a good time for some of them.
Coach, how did you use the bye week to prepare for Baylor's offense that's 4th in the Big 12 in scoring?
Well, we practiced. Anytime it's good and bad when you got extra time to look at a team, because you can go too deep into the rabbit hole and overthink things. At the same time, you get a lot more time to study them and really get to know them and try to put your team in the right plays on both sides of the ball to win. So we've definitely spent a lot of time on that. But like I said last week, we spent more time than anything on just trying to do little things better. And we picked 1 or 2 things at each position that we thought we could improve at, and we saw some improvement.
You guys did mention again having the bye week to get some guys healthy. Obviously, there's been a lot of injuries in the quarterback room. How are they doing, and how good was the bye week for them to maybe take a step back and kind of evaluate what they've been able to do this season?
Yeah, our quarterbacks, it's been a little rough. Tay's in the back. I think he's good now. You good, Tay? Yeah, he's good now. Jakari's been coming along. Cam had the ribs, and I think he's getting close. So we'll see. more guys we have up and ready, the better.
Coach, what impresses you more about this Baylor team, just looking at them through these last week?
Well, they're a talented team. They've lost some close games. And momentum's a powerful thing. Sometimes when you have it, those close games come. When you don't have it, they don't. But I know they're a really talented team, and probably one of the most talented teams in this league. And we got to go to their place and play the best game we can.
Scott, you mentioned the quarterback room being healthy, or at least getting back to being healthy. What have you seen from that group in the sense of how they've grown and matured, and how is it nice now to have Taven back maybe for multiple starts instead of having to come in and out of the lineup because of those injuries?
Yeah, when Tay came in the first time, he was hot. Weren't you, Tay? Right away. Then he got banged up and we had to go a different direction, and now he's back, and continuity there does help. So having him up and ready to go with a whole week to prepare, knowing he's the starter, I think that'll pay dividends for us.
Coach, last time UCF played Baylor, they gave up 26 points in the fourth quarter. Tell me your message to the players this week.
When was that?
2023.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't really paying attention then. I don't think that has much to do with us, but I do know Baylor has some really good weapons and can be really explosive on offense, so we got to do our best to slow it down.
You've got a couple games in the road. You know how difficult it is to win on the road. What do you have to do to get out of Waco with victory? What changes do you need to make compared to the previous road games?
We made a couple adjustments at Cincinnati, and I thought we played well to start the game. The energy was there. Just the focus of the players was good. We just had our chances with explosive plays on offense and didn't make them, and gave up a couple plays on defense. Otherwise, I thought our team fought really hard against Cincinnati team that's turned out to be a pretty good team. We're going to stick with the same thing. It's not broke, don't fix it. And really, you win or lose the game based on how your preparation is early in the week. And so that starts tonight and through Tuesday, Wednesday, and we'll get the guys to Waco and shoot our shot.
Coach, you're talking about your bye week practices. Did you notice any extra bounce in the guy's step at all coming off a big win?
Absolutely. But I give this group credit. They've come to work every week regardless of the result, and expect the same. We gave them some time off, so we'll be fresh, but we're going to have to shake the rust off tonight and make sure we have a good Tuesday and Wednesday.
Coach, how's your offense evolved maybe since your first time you were here? Obviously, you was UCF fast the first time. Is it more tailored these days on personnel, maybe what you got on defense and maybe what you got on offense? Has that kind of been an evolving thing in your coaching career, just offensive philosophy?
Yeah, I think first of all, you got to always be evolving schematically, or you're going to fall behind. College football's changed too, and I remember early in my coaching career, if you ran something unique, it was kind of yours for a while. Now, if it's on tape, everybody's going to run it the next week. So there's fewer secrets in scheme anymore. Also, with how college football is now, there's talent on every team. So really, it's a little more like the NFL now. It really comes down to how well you execute that week, how good of players you are, how well your quarterback plays, and those are really the differentiators. I think you can still do some unique things with scheme and try to create an advantage, but those opportunities are a little less now than they were 5-10 years ago.
Over the last month, we've seen coaching changes at Penn State, Florida, and most recently LSU. What have been kind of your reactions to those moves and maybe the demands on the head coaching position now?
No, this is a tough business. Maybe politics is tougher. Otherwise, there's very few lines of work where there's that many people watching and critics, and I just feel bad for those guys. I've been through that myself, and there's a lot of guys that have been let go lately that I know are really good coaches and have won a lot and won in other places, and sometimes it's just not in the cards. Everything doesn't come together, and it's a tough business. That doesn't make them bad people or bad coaches. Just doesn't work, and it's going to be a heavy year for that. And I don't really have a comment on anybody else's program other than I wish the best for all those guys, and a lot of them or most of them will find their way back again.
Coach, coming into the season, not many knew what to expect from this UCF defense under the helm of defensive coordinator Alex Grinch. What do you say about the job that he's done, turning this defense into one of the best in the Big 12?
Yeah, I think he's done a great job. It's one of the reasons I hired him is he's been elite as a defensive coordinator before, and he went through something like what we're talking about with the head coaches, where it doesn't work, and not necessarily all his fault, but you take it on the chin. And I knew he was hungry for another opportunity, and I think he's done a good job evolving and adjusting, and our defense has been a strength for us. So really happy for him, and expect it to keep getting better and give us a chance to win down the stretch.
Scott, you talked about having the bye week help the players get healthy, get better. How about for you yourself? What did the bye week provide? An opportunity maybe to step away for a day or so, or were you right in there with coaching and recruiting?
Oh, I did a lot of work this past week, but I spent a lot of time with Ashley and the kids too. Got to go to a Little League baseball game or two and just play in the yard with the kids a little bit, and that helps me get centered. Just getting away a little bit and being a normal human being for a while kind of helps you recover.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to enjoy college football Saturday for yourself? Maybe scout out Baylor a little bit there in Cincinnati?
Yeah, when I watch games on TV, it's hard to watch it as a coach. You can a little bit, but it's hard to see schemes and everything on TV. RJ, my son, likes to watch, so I sat there with him and watched a little bit, but sometimes it's just good to get away too, so I wasn't glued to the TV.
During the bye week, how did you and your staff approach the recruiting trail? What were the conversations like you're hearing from players, families?
Yeah, it's been good. We sent quite a few coaches out on Thursday and Friday with some high school games, and we're kind of finding our way through this new environment and how we want to approach high school recruiting. And I go back to, we're recruiting kids from a lot of places, but there's a lot of kids right here near us in Florida and in Central Florida that are good enough to help us win, and those are the kind of kids that we need in the program. So we're spending a lot of time there, and we're going to try to do a good job evaluating talent and character and make sure we get the right people in here.
You said trying to figure out your approach. How has your approach changed since you've been here?
That's a big question. Anymore, you want to build your team with local talent and with guys you can develop within the program. That's just harder to do than it ever has been. So you have to offset that with a transfer portal, and you got to have the right balance there. You certainly, in my opinion, can't go all transfer portal, or you don't have a lot of loyalty in people that you're developing in the program. If you go all high school, you're going to be really young and probably not ready to compete. So there's got to be a balance there. And as much as you want to have a plan for all this, every decision really becomes a one-off decision. With high school kids, transfers, junior college kids, everything else, trying to build your team from on a year-to-year basis. So we're navigating it as best we can.
Last one.
Coach used the bye week to practice for Baylor, but what were you talking about to your players, emphasizing most against them in practice?
For Baylor?
Yes.
We haven't talked a lot about Baylor yet. We were talking about us last week. We spent one walkthrough kind of doing an early install for Baylor. So, and then I haven't seen the guys for a couple days. So we'll get them back in this afternoon and start really turning our attention to Baylor.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks, Coach.